So what we're doing here is we're writing down our views on politics and Trump. No. How I say you don't gain an hour if you fall asleep after the time change, and they both think you still sleep an extra hour. Explain yourself visually. Go. So there'll be a presentation. It'll be a presentation after the drawings are done. And this is a black hole. Time dilation. Remember that, deep dish?
Okay, there, I'm ready.
What is Jason drawing?
I don't know, but is Brittany going to be in the picture?
Yes, she is currently in the picture.
No, I'm the...
Okay, I'm already failing at drawing this. Hold on. I had this all planned out and I've forgotten by now. What is he? Oh, is he drawing a bed? Are you drawing a bedroom?
That's him in the bed. I'm Michaelis, the one that's going to prove both of you wrong. I'm Michaelis.
Jason's agreeing with you. Why do you keep saying both of you?
Because he's not agreeing with me. He's drawing a picture of some weird murder scene.
Jason agreed with you last week. I don't know why you're saying this thing.
Because he's drawing a picture of a murder scene. This has nothing to do with...
No, that's right. It says +1 to sleep.
I thought it said sloop.
I think that's accurate. I think he wrote this. That is all he needed, and then he started doing this. I think that's what happened.
I'm curious to find out if this is his actual bedroom. Because if it is, then why does he have windows?
Good question. This is dream bedroom. All right, what am I doing here? I asked you, are you done yet? Are you still drawing poster boards, Jason? All right. So I'll go first because I'm the opposition, and maybe I'll be convinced when they're explaining their thing. But this... Oh, hello, and welcome to the SYWB podcast. This is episode 30, by the way. What a way to start number 30. I think this is 30. No, it might be 29. Oh, no. Anymore.
Kill the pause.
No. Because 28 was Halloween. This is 30. All right.
Well, then we have... does that include the Lost episode?
No.
So we're at 31.
No, we're at 30. Should we do that? Should we do that? That'd be funny.
Do the Lost episode?
No, I'm saying should we include it?
In the count? Well, yeah, it's a Lost episode.
This might be 30. I don't know which one. I'll look it up after this and do another intro. But this is to discuss. I still know, I don't believe, I still know you don't gain an hour if you fall asleep after the time change.
I'm being reckless.
This is my explanation. Mathematically, graphically, and so on.
And inaccurately.
Incorrect.
I hope it's linear than the lines you draw on those boxes.
I like Deep Dish's lines.
I don't have lines. I have a clock.
No, you're out of box. Your box did.
Yeah.
All right. The clock was probably a good idea. I drew lines. All right. So let's get right into this. I'm stalling for time. For thought. This chair is still moving.
I gotta push it forward.
How's it going, Brittany? All right. So normally, ready? I'm gonna just use my schedule. Normally, fall asleep at 2 a.m. Sleep time. Those are eyes.
Oh, I thought they were dicks.
He drools. That's him. Why did you think they were dicks? They can't hear you, Jason. Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, the joke's not funny then.
Oh, okay, never mind. That's gonna sound terrible in the audio.
Yep.
All right. So you gotta buy one of these mics, Jason. You can. All right. And now that we're back to the Patreon. Normally fall asleep at 2 a.m. Blah blah blah. 7 hours. 2 plus 7 is. Everyone went to class. 2 plus 7 is
9.
Thank you,
Oh,
everyone.
Lord.
He wakes up and he's shocked because it's like, oh my god, I still didn't get enough sleep. All right, that is 7 hours, correct? So normally, hold on.
I thought you said you were done.
No, I didn't. Shut up.
Drawing.
All right. Normally, blah blah blah. You fall asleep at 1.
Looks like a 2 to me.
Yeah. So normally, you fall asleep at the time change, which is 2, right? Right? Time change is at 2? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I need audience participation here. So then you get 2 2s, right?
Yes.
No, but go. That's my whole point. So I can't agree with you, but go on.
No, so what's wrong with this? No, because we're gonna iterate here. If I'm wrong, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Do you want me to do mine and just this will blow yours right out of the water?
Let's finish mine. So what's wrong with this?
Is it 2 or not? I don't know.
I'm saying, don't you get two?
No, you get
2 1 o'clocks.
if the clock changes at 2.
Yeah.
You get 2 1 o'clock.
2 1 o'clock. Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to be accurate here, as I'm saying. I care about being right. I care about being accurate. I don't know why you're laughing. That's the truest thing I've
Well,
ever said.
Jason's sleeping.
That's step 1 for laughter. All right. Okay. All right. So my point.
I said.
Thank you. So my point. You fall asleep late. Fall asleep at 3.
Yeah.
There you go, sleep. No, sorry, not even 3. You just go to sleep at 2 because that's still after the time change, correct? 2 is still after the time change, right?
2 is the time change.
No, I'm saying we have 1 1 2. So 2 is after the time change.
Yeah.
No, glad we're in agreement. I think that was the issue before. All right, you still sleep for 7 hours, and you get to 9 o'clock. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Wake up, still sad because you are insomniac and doesn't sleep well at all. 7 hours. This is my point. These are brand new markers. Don't want to ruin them. This is my point. This blows your points out the water, as you like to say. 1
Said it
2
one
3
time.
4 5 6 7.
You don't know how to count.
I messed it up. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 hours. Wakes up at 8 o'clock. Goes to sleep at 1. That's 7 hours. You go to sleep at 1. You get 8 hours. You go to sleep at 2, which is after the time change. If you still sleep for 7 hours, hold on, I messed this up. This may be where my problem lies. Yeah. So, as I said, if you go to sleep after the time change and you still sleep for 7 hours, you don't get an hour. You're sleeping for 7 hours.
Can I tell you my explanation right now? Because that's at your point where I would say,
If you wake up on the 1st of the month, no.
did the month change?
Did the month change? Did it get an extra hour in a month? There's a way to explain this that I'm not
Unless
doing
it's
well
leap year,
about.
then you get an extra day.
All right, so let's go for your explanation because there's something I'm missing here.
Well, go to Jason's because I want to find out
Okay, yeah,
what this
Jason
is.
first. Jason,
There's
what happened here?
apparently it's a murder scene.
Okay.
This actually makes way more sense.
A murder
After he had to take a pause, this makes way more sense.
No, I'm saying the mic situation.
Okay. You get your ass to sleep and then you feel
Jesus.
better.
Brand new marker, Jason.
Okay. Oh wait, is that bad? I don't know. I
Yes.
never mess with markers.
Well,
So, anyways, you
they're
get
not
sleep.
knives. You don't throw them.
You
That's-
don't throw knives either.
That's how this happened.
You don't
Right
throw
here.
knives either.
Exhibit A.
The more question is, why do you throw knives at this?
Did
thing?
that just
It
happen
didn't. It was a
now?
bounce.
No, that was the knife throw.
It was a bounce.
Who threw the knife?
Me. It was a
Yeah.
bounce and it hit the board in accident. What were you saying, Jason?
You just get a nice.
Get up,
you Get a nice
Jason.
hour of sleep.
Get up, Jason. Do your presentation,
You
Jason.
get a nice hour. No,
I agree.
I'm mimicking the picture. You get a nice hour of sleep. Okay.
How?
Because you just do.
All right.
It just feels right.
Deep dish
That's me with my sleeping cap on.
and a
Paid
bunny.
I paid $10 for it. That's for Brittany because her punk ass
rabbit.
needs to fucking sleep on her own bed, but she doesn't do it.
I need you to go get the
Now she
sleeping
needs
cap
to
right
fucking
now.
Sleep.
I don't believe you. Go grab the sleeping cap.
I
All
wrote
right.
like
Deep
6
dishes
times.
explanation. Well,
To the
so
left
again,
one is Legend of Zelda.
just-
the middle
okay.
one is
can't vote
all
this.
the Soul series.
we can't vote to this.
And then the right one was supposed to be Dragon Ball Z, but he got mad because I couldn't draw the extra circles.
All right. So again, to explain again, I'm saying if you go to sleep after the time change without changing your alarm, I think you still sleep for 7 hours. No. So the 7 hours thing wasn't. That's where I'm messing up. I'll figure that out after your thing. But You go to sleep after the time change. You don't gain an hour of sleep. That's all I'm saying.
We good?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's the mic.
No, he has a mic.
Okay.
Oh,
Follow along.
I'm following.
I'm following. Don't worry.
The time,
Can you step a little that way so the camera can see it?
I see the time.
regardless of length of sleep and all of that, take that out the window. We're looking at a clock.
No, we can't take that out of the window. but go ahead.
Okay. Can we agree that we're looking at a clock?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Can
think
we
we're on
agree
just a clock.
that at 2 o'clock we revert back to 1 o'clock? We
Yes.
agree?
Yes.
Yes.
I said yes.
Okay. So 3 becomes 2, 4 becomes 3, 5
I don't
becomes
know because
4,
I took a nap.
6 becomes 5, 7 becomes 6, 8 becomes 7.
Do you know the
9
phrase
becomes
and
8.
so on?
I bet.
Do you know the phrase and so on
10, 11,
or etc.?
12. So we're back. So if you go to sleep at 2,
Which is after the time change.
irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. That's exactly
Yes,
what
it
we're talking.
is.
No, it's not.
Because you said you lose an hour sleep.
No, I didn't.
But
I said you don't gain an hour.
Well, it's the same thing. You don't
No,
gain.
because you can
is
get the same as sleep.
as-
Is what I'm saying.
So 2 becomes 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
3 becomes 2. The whole clock goes back. You are only looking at this little
Chilly.
bit right here and then possibly sometimes adding that on. You got to look at the clock as a whole
No, you don't.
and
Not
revert the whole thing
yes, but
because it's all goes back, not
Yes.
just this part of it.
but what is irrelevant to what you're talking about is any time before. Let me put it this way.
I woke up with my tummy ache. I don't know why. So I drank some salsa water.
I don't know why he keeps calling it a tummy ache.
So look, the issue with that is you can't.
There is no
If
issue.
it was always sending to Philadelphia. So look, you can't include this 12 until you've touched the 12.
Okay, but we're not.
I know. You said, no, you did because you just said
I said the entire clock reverts
yes.
back.
You said you have to consider the whole thing.
Yes,
don't.
you have to.
No, not until you touch that time. You can't. You
Oh,
don't
right.
include. You don't include 8 until you
No,
get to 8
yes
o'clock.
you do, because at 1 o'clock, when the time has changed,
You're missing the basic
Unless you
point. The
guys
time
do,
is
like,
still
reference
linear.
numbers are-
You can't talk at the same time.
the 2 becomes 1.
Stop spitting on my mic.
2, you just said 2 becomes 1.
Correct.
And it's the same
said-
logic that applies. 3 becomes 2,
Real quick.
4 becomes 3.
When you get there.
No.
Yes.
No,
it hasn't happened.
the time, it doesn't take 12 hours to change the time in one day.
It absolutely does.
No, it doesn't. It takes 1 hour. You're moving the clocks back 1 hour.
Yes, but until you get to that time, until you get to 9
So
o'clock.
you're saying at 2 in the morning it changes to 1 o'clock.
If you let me finish, I'll
And
tell you what I'm
until
saying.
5 o'clock, it doesn't change until 4?
No. If you let me finish, you'll know what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Until you get to 10 o'clock, it is not 10 o'clock.
Yes, it is.
No. Because you haven't reached it yet.
But the clocks move back an hour. They shift a whole.
exactly.
The entire 12 hours shifts back 1 hour.
Yes.
And then let the chips fall where they may.
Does the chip fall before you get to 12 o'clock? Or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock?
The chip falls.
It falls once the next one goes.
No, it falls when you move the clock back because then the entire thing moves back.
Well, the chip's falling is not a good metaphor because they fall in like clock, 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 clock. They don't
Right
fall all
here.
at once.
Right here. The clock's changed here from 2 to 1.
Yeah, this definitely did not blow me out of the water here.
It's because I'm right. The clocks went from
No, I said it
2
didn't blow me out
to
the water.
1.
Great. And when you go to sleep,
And then the entire thing changes. So if you go to sleep at 2 and you wake up at 9
Personal groomer for her.
and you move
super
everything
senior,
back, so 2 becomes 1 and you wake up at
real quick,
8,
right there, right.
that's
Pause
still
right there,
the
pause right.
same thing.
You're not
It's
pausing.
still the same
You're not
amount of
pausing.
time.
You're still not pausing. I need you to repeat what you said and then pause when I say pause. Repeat what you said.
the whole clock changes. So when you go from 2 to 1 and you sleep for 8 hours, hold on. If you, let's say the clocks don't change, you're at 2 o'clock and you sleep for 8 hours. You
Correct.
wake up at 10.
Correct.
The clocks a whole move back. You go to sleep at 1, which used to be 2, and you wake up at 9. That's still 8 hours.
Because you went to sleep before the time change. And you said, did you hear what you just said? It's still 8 hours. You don't gain an hour.
Yes, it is. Because you...
Okay, real quick, because this happened last week. How do you say you gain an hour, but then you say you still get 8 hours?
Because you gained the hour when the hour moves back,
I'm
because
saying
the entire clock shifts.
Of sleep.
Well,
You're both sleeping 8 hours, so you don't gain an hour. That's exactly my point. And you said that
But
last
then-
week, and you skipped right over it. It went whoosh,
No,
right over.
no. The deal is that
No,
because
real
you're
quick.
waking up at a different time.
Yes,
Right, you're waking up
but you're still sleeping how
an
many
hour
hours?
later.
You're still sleeping how many hours?
But you went to sleep an hour later, and you're waking up an hour later. It's
You're still sleeping how many hours?
it's the same point.
You're s-
8.
eight.
It's the same point.
Are you sleeping one more
But-
hour?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
How can you sleep 8
because
hours?
the clock went from 2
Listen, let me ask
to
the question.
1.
How can you sleep 8 hours, both nights, and gain an hour of sleep?
Because you're going to sleep and waking up at different times. Because the entire clock changed.
Exactly. So if you go to sleep after the time change, like we've just been saying the last 2 minutes, you still get 8 hours of sleep.
Because
Right?
you're waking up at a
Yes or no?
different time.
Yes or no?
Because you're waking up at a different time.
That's why I said the clock is irrelevant. That's why I said when you don't get until you get there, it doesn't matter. If you go to sleep after the time change, you still get
But-
8 hours of sleep.
But regardless of sleeping, let's say you don't sleep. Forget 8 hours of
No,
sleep.
because that's exactly what the question is. Do you gain an hour of sleep if you go to sleep
yes,
after?
yes, you gain an hour every time. You spring forward, you fall back. In the spring, you lose an hour.
Yes, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. How can you've just admitted that you both get 8 hours of sleep before and after if you fall asleep after the time change. So if you fall asleep after the time change and you still are sleeping 8 hours, you do not gain an hour of sleep. You are still sleeping 8 hours.
But you're not
That's the
taking
whole
this
discussion.
change of time into play.
I am.
No, you're not.
Right now I'm basing it off your model. So yes, I am.
Okay, the time change, but then you've gained the hour here because you went from 2 to 3 and then you slept and went around.
So this is exactly what I'm saying. You can't count the 9 o'clock until you get to 9 o'clock. Once the clock has spun, once the clock has spun all the way around, then yeah. But until the clock has spun all the way around, obviously clocks are manufactured by humans and time is just linear. But I'm saying, once the clock has gone all the way around, then you consider it, because it's just like, if you think of it this way, because you can't have 12 and 1, 1 can't be 12 and 12 can't be 1, right?
But it does in the time change.
No, I know,
because
we're getting
1
there. Hold on.
becomes 12.
I know, exactly. So hold on, we're getting there. So at the same exact time, 12 cannot be 1, right?
Before the time change or in general?
General.
Okay, I agree with you.
Perfect. So then when you do this, when you change the time, when the time changes, and you goes 1 turns here, so it's where 12 is, that's when it has to catch up. So until the clock has gone all the way around, you can't count it because it's going like this and it's catching
Okay,
up with
so-
itself.
Okay.
So then now it's complete, and then from now on you go on.
Okay, so you're saying, based on your logic, that if you sleep for 12 hours, you've gained an hour of sleep?
If you went before the clock changed, then yes.
If you fell asleep, but what if you fall asleep at the clock change?
See, we're not talking about that. That's a whole different discussion. I haven't thought about that at all. You probably still gain an hour.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, then you've missed
You
the entire.
gain an hour.
Well, then you missed the entire point, because I said if you fall asleep after the time change, you do not gain an hour. That was my argument.
But you still do, though.
You do not. We've already just figured this
Because
out.
the time has already changed.
Exactly.
Right, so you've gained that hour in this time without sleeping.
But you're not understanding the point I'm saying is until you get there, until you get to the point in time, it doesn't exist.
So the
For all
whole
intents and
clock
purposes.
changing, it takes 12 hours in order for the time change to happen?
Not to happen, to complete.
Okay.
So if you go to 3, that is
So-
your 3.
But okay, so based on your logic, then, once 2 becomes 1, and 9 doesn't become 8 until you hit 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So then the clock doesn't shift this way
For
full
12 hours.
12 hours.
Yes.
That's incorrect.
No.
Look at every single clock.
I'm
And
talking
the
about-
history of the world.
I know. I'm talking about actually walking through time. If you have a physical clock like this, obviously it just ticks back and then everything's the same. I'm saying when we're looking at it this way and we're talking about amount of time spent, you can't consider the rest of it until it's already happened. Because to say that I'm saying if you go to sleep the next day at 2 or whatever it is,
Okay,
then
so
it's-
let me ask you this.
then it's caught up.
Let me ask you this. Let's say you have an appointment.
At least turn the phone down, Jason.
Let's say you have an appointment. Thank you. Let's say you have an appointment to get a haircut at 10 o'clock on that next day. You've already made this X amount of days in advance. It's irrelevant. Hold on.
This whole thing
I'm
is
not
relevant.
talking
So
because they don't
you're
want me to
telling
chit
me
chat. So I'm just.
That when the clocks change from 2 to 1, you're not going to get your haircut at 10. You're going to show up there at what you think is 10,
That's
but
actually a good
what's
point.
on their wall reads 9 o'clock. So you're actually going to miss, well, I'm sorry, it reads 11. So you're actually going to miss your appointment because you're over an hour
That would be true if
because
only
it hasn't happened yet.
that would be true if only your clock changed.
That's the whole point. The whole thing changes
No.
everywhere in the
I'm
world.
saying, well, no, not everywhere in the world. Each people do it at different
Well,
bits, but
true.
I'm saying, obviously it's in the same time zone. I'm saying that logic, that example was going somewhere and then it fell off because no, that would only be true if only your clock changed. Then you'd be late. But everyone's clock changed, so you're not late.
But if
or-
everyone's clock changed, then you'd still get that hour.
So you're moving the goalposts. We're
No,
talking
I'm
about,
not,
Yes, you are.
because- no.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about gaining an hour if you fall asleep after the time change. It has nothing to do with what you do after that time. Like I was on with you. I was like, okay, this is a good example, and then it didn't make any sense at the end. We're just talking about if you fall asleep after the time change. If you fall asleep at 3 o'clock,
But it's actually 2 o'clock
exactly.
because the whole clock changed. So you're falling asleep at 2.
Previous time,
Correct.
which is why that's why I said I was trying to do this over here. 2 o'clock was the bedtime, but that didn't work because 2 o'clock is after the time change. You've already admitted that you get 8 hours of sleep before and after.
Yes, but the
Pause right
time
there.
you go,
Pause. I
the
need you to
time
pause.
you
I
go
need
to
you to pause.
sleep
I need
and
you
the
to pause.
time you wake up.
You're not pausing. That's it. That was the argument. I said if you go to sleep after, you don't gain an hour of sleep.
So the clocks could change 5 hours instead of 1, and 8 hours is 8 hours.
Of sleep, yeah.
That is a ridiculous argument because,
No,
of
if you
course,
sleep
8
8
hours
hours-
is 8 hours. Regardless of what time you went to sleep, 8 physical hours is still 8 physical hours, regardless of what's on this clock.
And do you see how basic of an idea that is?
What?
That's all that I was trying to say last week. Was that if you sleep for 8 hours, you sleep for 8 hours. And now it's come to this. It's come to these 3 whiteboard marks. And I was right. God damn. It took... Ooh, TikTok.
Hand me my tray. And as usual, Jason's checked out.
Sounds like he's dying.
And he's not in focus at all. Oh, it's because you were in the way.
So I was right. Yes. You sleep for 8 hours. You still sleep for 8 hours. In my example, it was 7, but same. That doesn't matter.
On the camera, you're up here. Like all of that's gone. There you go. Now you're full on. Stop doing that.
Doesn't matter. Just trying to see the board. Thanks for Jason's explanation. I'm glad we have that now.
By the way, you can't even see.
What?
You can't see shit.
Yes, you can. It's 4K. Jesus. Yes, you can. You can see it on the Patreon. Go there. because they get 4K. You get 1080 YouTube. I'll also post a picture of this to the Instagram, which somehow we have never posted on. Well, actually, we have posted, but
You have, because your only fan hasn't liked it.
don't say only fan. All right, so I was right. That's good to know.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a movie called Only Fan.
I'm gonna kill myself before it comes out.
No, because during the movie, I'm going to kill you. So you can't.
I just witnessed something I didn't
You'll
want to
already be
see.
dead
But
by an hour.
I was about to say, but what if you kill me before the time change? Good to know I was right on this basic principle.
No, you.
You've agreed. It doesn't matter. You've already agreed. You've already agreed. If you sleep 8 hours, you sleep 8 hours. That was all I was saying. It wasn't supposed to be this big thing, this ginormous hot take. It was if you sleep 8 hours, you sleep 8 hours. And then I had another point to make afterwards, and I forgot what the fuck point was because we're talking about.
I thought you were talking about when the time changed. Of course, 8 hours is 8 hours. Anybody in
Real
their
quick.
right mind would agree with you.
That's why I
But
was
when
freaking out
you
last week.
threw in the whole fact that the hour changed. That's when I said no.
Exactly.
That is not true.
That's why I was so confused because I was just saying a basic thing that 8 hours is 8 hours, and you guys were.
8 hours is 8 hours.
Math is math.
Right. I did.
But you didn't agree with that. You guys were like immediately against.
Then I misunderstood what you were saying.
That's what I was saying the whole time. That you were misunderstanding. You were saying no, you weren't misunderstanding. You were just wrong. You're just wrong. That's all I heard. And Jason was.
Is that how I sound?
No. Jason was bandwagoning, and then he drew this masterpiece. I'm gonna have to save that now. I can't even erase it. It's gonna be worth more than Banksy in 10 years. No one knows Banksy? Anyone? All right. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad that was. How long was that?
Way too long.
That was a half hour. That was a half hour. 36 minutes. That was literally 30 minutes of. Wow. I'm glad. We did good. High five, you guys. High five yourselves. I can't even do the intro now that I wanted to do because.
I high-fived myself this morning.
Oh, God.
No, I woke up and I said, hey, good job.
That's not what we wanted to hear. All right. Since Jason had to sit there for half an hour to deal with that. Story, Jason? I'm glad he's yawning. That was good. Good to tell the good to tell the business of the podcast right there.
Oh, I'm sleepy.
Should have made coffee over that half hour.
What?
Should have made coffee over that half hour.
Nah, I didn't think that'd be helpful.
Did we get through a weekend without bringing up coffee?
It's only your trauma, Joel. It's not ours.
It's only your
That means we
trauma,
shouldn't
not
consider it
ours.
at all.
Yeah, no, don't consider it.
Jason?
I got nothing really to say for the most part.
Oh my
All I
God,
know
on a
is-
podcast?
On the oh yeah, because the energy. I sorry, I gotta get back on the energy.
You want to take a break and make coffee?
No,
You can take a 10-minute.
no, that's not the break I'm talking about. Oh no, it's on.
Stop touching the mic.
Okay, well, okay, so how about this then? I got a sweet story to tell for the most part.
Yay.
So we got back to back with the server again. The one who always has a lot of issues to go on. Good for him. He moved up in positions. We're not gonna say what it is, but good for him. He actually qualified and moved up after 9 months of dealing with it. But he also got a new phone.
Yeah.
He updated his plan. He got an iPhone 16, I think, the newest one, and I think it's cheaper plan too. So good, like all the good news for him. Though the only thing that made me giggle about the whole thing was I was there when he broke his phone.
Oh, I didn't know he broke it.
It was just a simple drop and the screen cracked and stuff. But but without missing a beat, I'm like, I was like, yeah, it's a bad job. He's like, no, I made it worse. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, when it dropped and it cracked, I thought I had a screensaver on it. So I was like, I'll just take
Oh,
out the
no.
screensaver. So I grabbed the bottom of the phone, and before I knew it, I started ripping my phone screen off. And I was like, damn, how much strength do you have to rip off the actual screen of it? And he showed me, yeah, like one third of it was just gone. Like imagine this screen, this piece right here, ripped off by your own finger.
Jesus.
And I'm like you didn't think for a second that maybe you didn't have a phone screen? It's like I mean no.
He doesn't anymore.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, what do you? And so he's like, I guess I gotta get a new phone now. I don't know what to do. And I was like, yeah,
Do you know what made him switch to iPhone? Because he had an Android.
he switched it this week.
Do you know what made him like choose Apple instead of
The
Android?
plan. He said he has a new plan. He said it's cheaper. He wants to know what it's all about.
Sounds like
Apparently,
Dutch.
the cheaper plan was the phone. It was the phone. I was
Oh,
like,
that's so funny.
you
The first thing Chef is like he's a big Apple guy first of all, and then he's like a tech guy as well. Well, kind of. He likes Apple. He can't be that much of a tech guy, but he the first thing I heard when I walked in was like, they're giving terabytes out for free. So like, he was like so confused and like bewildered about it, because that guy was, I won't say his name, because the waiter was standing there showing him the new phone and some of the services, and all I was, they're doing terabytes for free. I was like, oh god, apparently they're doing terabytes for free.
yeah, he cracks me up. I adore the chef so much because he really does come out of nowhere. Like he reminds me of me sometimes whenever I feel like I'm like more overstretching or like I feel like I'm doing something like I shouldn't. Mainly because like I grew up around everybody, so like my mannerisms always just like kind of just becomes this one melting pot. But my favorite about him is I don't know what he was doing. He was talking about one of the new cooks, and then without skipping a beat, he's like, he's doing really well. He's doing really well. All right, all right, all right. He got it down pat. And I was like, chef? He's like, yeah, deuces. And I was like, chef? What? And me and the food one, and we look at each other. We were like, oh, where did this come from?
Yeah, he says
And
stuff like
he
that
turned around
often.
and walked away.
Because was he leaving for the night?
Yeah, he was leaving
Yeah,
for the night. And I'm like, he does
deuces.
this once in a blue moon, but like, it's always funny to catch him in those moments where he's just like completely like just not himself at all.
I can't think of another one he said, but he says phrases like that, kind of like you said in a blue moon.
Yeah.
It's about once a month. He'll say something like that.
Yeah, he always says something completely out of left field, and that's one thing I adore about him. But everything else is kind of a bit of a train wreck. Uh, Speaking of which, I want to give a shout out to the sous chef. I'm not gonna say his name, but I want to give a shout out to him because he's been practically pushing the helm for like for the last 3 weeks, and
But what if he went to bed before the time change? Would it still be 3 weeks?
sure, I guess I don't know. 24 hours is still there. Um, One of the things I want to mention is like I think we mentioned about this like family meals and like how like food and
No, we
stuff
didn't talk
comes
about it in the
into it.
podcast for a reason.
Okay, well, I kind of feel sorry on his behalf because like I don't know if the budget slash or is it just them kind of giving up on it. It's a lot of factors that go
They're
into
giving
it.
up.
But I feel sorry for him because mainly like we kind of got station food essentially, like stuff you would actually see at a gas station at this point, being like traditional like a fish taco or like being like a pizza that was store bought.
You you've bought a fish taco at a gas station?
And depending on where you go to.
Oh God.
Um, yeah, well, that's everybody's reaction. Yeah, they look at it, they're like, "Oh gosh."
Now we have to go to a
But I,
gas station and find a fish taco
I
because there's
do,
no way.
I do feel sorry for him because he does go the extra mile, and it's never noticeable because it's something you can't really see it. It's only when you're eating it that you notice it, like the fish actually being prepped correctly, battered correctly, chicken
That's what
nuggets
she said.
itself being the best that we have because they're just chicken nuggets. Same with the tacos. I can see him trying to ask the Spanish cooks to make something to go with it, like pico de gallo or
You're still
something
watching the screen and not us.
to go with it. And also at the same time, like pizzas, like I said, they're frozen. But he tries his best to like finally chop a lot of extra ingredients to them. Have one be kind of spicy, have one be vegetarian all the way, have another one, just be traditional. And it sucks because everyone's just tired of it, so they don't really acknowledge it. And he doesn't get the gotta like he doesn't get the thank yous he deserves for that.
I think
And
it when it's good.
you know, and I
When he
do
just
feel sorry for him and
overcooks
on that
egg rolls,
regard.
I'm not really gonna vegetarian egg rolls. I'm not really gonna say, "Oh, thanks, chef,"
Why did you sound like a grandmother when you said that?
because grandmas thank people.
Not like that.
Grandmas are nice. I almost said
Are
something
they?
really
I
awful that I'm
don't
not
know.
gonna say. Cut away.
I met a grandma.
You met a grandma?
Yeah, I met
On
someone's
Tinder?
grandma. It was a crazy experience. She's like, "You're the darkest I've seen lately." I'm like, "What you mean?"
All
Like,
right, so I
Graham,
don't
what you
know.
saying?
That's a good transition to this bit, but real quick, did you know that last night the bartender? Can you switch? The bartender was on Tinder last night because it was so slow. She was just like, "Oh, look at this guy! Oh, look at this one."
Oh no,
She
I
was going
didn't
through
know.
Tinder because there was no one at the bar for like a good 4 hours.
Yeah,
Like every
poor
4 hours,
them.
one person showed up,
Yeah, poor them.
and there was like no one was getting drinks either. I'm sorry. Do you have somewhere to be? Is that a piss alarm? What is that?
You have somewhere to be.
Can I ask or no? Isn't that good to answer?
It's my brother.
Oh, it's a phone call. What kind of phone call? Why do you have that
Is
as
it an
your?
emergency?
It's a long story.
Okay,
Is it emergency?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
The
okay.
phone call
I
makes it
have
sound
that
like.
for every single member of my family because that's the only time that I hear from them is when there is an emergency. Otherwise, I don't get phone calls or texts.
So you have
Oh,
to answer that.
I didn't.
But you said it's an emergency.
Whoever's dead is going to be dead in a half an hour.
That's true.
that's the answer.
So anyway, quick. So what you said something about being
That's
dark.
funny. Being dark, yeah.
Great. The same man
Yeah.
who last week we talked about not understanding the context of a room. You know, walking into the room saying it's dark in here, and it's a group of Jason, how would you describe them?
Your screen just went out, just for the record.
Screen went out.
Well,
Oh, is it in sleep mode
the
or
video part? I don't
did
know
it?
if it matters, but it literally just happened.
Because you're on 4.
Oh.
Get man switched to no camera. He has one job.
Screen blacked out. I don't know what happened. It's because you're on channel 4. What's in it though? Nothing.
We were talking about black, and I went to 4.
That's funny. That's actually happened. All right.
Talking about
We're gonna
black,
skip what I said last. So anyway, so last night he had a table of Jason.
He had a table of very
Cut to
uniquely colored groups of many ethnicities that were in there, and
It was one ethnicity.
he came in.
Anyway, there's a
and,
group of very nice African American group, and he goes up without just without saying much of anything. He's just like going through the menu and that, and all of a sudden I wrote it down. So at one point he says, someone asks, "Oh, can you blacken this?" And he goes, "I can blacken anything you want." And he said it in like a sultry way, but he was just talking. And one of the women goes,
Oh.
"That's how I like it," or something like that.
yeah.
And everyone laughs at the table. He's just sitting there with his notebook. He doesn't even realize what he did.
Yeah, no acknowledgement on that part.
And then the like 2 sentences later, he said something about it being long and dark. And again, she was like, something about that's how I like it. The same woman. She was really hitting
she was really
hitting the home runs that
the
night.
notes, yeah.
Everyone laughed, and he's just sitting there, writing down. He was writing something. I don't know what he was writing down. She didn't order yet, but he was. I don't know. He just doesn't get that these are jokes. He's not trying to make the jokes. He just speaks that way. It's so funny.
Yeah, that used to be me when I was like in high school and stuff. Before I actually realized like a lot of words and like little codes for them.
Before I realized a lot of words. That's the name of the podcast.
But yeah, he cracks me up on so much too because he always says a lot of things, and obviously it's because of the text of it. Like he's not trying to like fish out anything else into it. It's just like this
Unless
is the
he's
sentence,
just the best actor
this is the
ever.
structure. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so, kudos to him for not getting so much in trouble for it. But yeah, it always cracks me up.
I points him out. Gotta get the energy up, Jason. You're mumbling into the mic again.
I am? Okay.
Loudly, Jason!
Sorry, I spent 30 minutes talking about sleep. I'm kind of sleepy right now.
It was literally 30 minutes we were on the whiteboard. Speaking of sleep.
Okay. Move the mic.
My sleep schedule has been so messed up, not because the time changed, that the other day I went to bed. And
because of seasonal depression, guys. It's real. It gets you.
I didn't know seasons lasted 3 years. Oh, you cut away.
I thought you were pointing at him.
I was, but it was thank you. Sorry.
When
When I'm looking at the camera is different. I'm looking at you pointing. That's when it's. But if I'm looking at the camera and pointing, correct. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you from future reference. That's how I do things.
That's how I do things.
I'm not blaming you for this one. I'm just saying. All right, cut to me. I didn't know the seasons lasted 3. Okay, anyways, done.
You can
No,
edit it.
I like
By
how
the
it
way,
was a
your
thank you.
editing is very good. I will admit.
you watched the Halloween episode?
Yes.
It was great. That was the best editing I've done for this podcast.
Yeah, I saw it. It skipped, and I was like, went to the new place, and I was like, whoa.
No, it has 22 right now.
Who the fuck is viewing it?
Dude,
People,
when we post
let them.
actual like
Good content.
yeah, like YouTube figures it out pretty quick.
Then the lost episode will never.
Never be
Never.
posted. That's why it's lost.
Mainly because I was asleep for that one too.
It was by the way, cut to me. The lost episode was literally it was an hour and 20 minutes of just that. Would you spend the first 30 minutes of this podcast? But it wasn't even funny. It was just sad. I was crying at one point.
It was 2.5 hours long.
No, it was an hour and 50.
I thought it went from 12 to 2:30. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it wasn't 2:30. It was about 150.
Oh, okay. Well,
150 or 2.
It's grossly long for the content.
That's what she said.
Grossly, not really.
The only fan, yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing to gain from that
What?
video.
No. We skipped. That's why we skipped a week. Anyway, so my sleep schedule's so messed up. I went to bed. I was going to bed the other night, and I look at my phone, of course, and a YouTuber I follow lives in England, lives in Britain, and he posts. So he posts like in the morning for his time, or in the middle after, like almost afternoon. So I was going to bed at 5 a.m. and he was posting. Like I saw his new video. I was like, that's not good. It said posted 6 minutes ago. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's so late. It's so late that it's early in England. That's how late I'm going to bed. Sucks. I think they're 6 hours ahead.
5.
Really? I thought it was 6.
Thought it was. I have to know.
So my sleep
So their
schedule
day was at their
Moving
peak,
there.
and your ass was going to bed.
moving
It's
there.
horrendous.
It's 12:43 versus 5:43. It's 5 hours.
Yeah, sadly, my sleep schedule got
What?
fucked up because
5 hours.
I've been trying to stream.
5 plus 7 is 12. 5 plus 5 is 10.
12 to 5.
Is 7 hours.
5 hours. We're not subtracting.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to this.
Are we gonna do
again.
this again? Are we gonna do this? Do anything? What?
3, 4, 5.
You counted to 5. Now count to 12. It's 7.
Why are we counting?
Because they're at 12:43.
We're at 12:43.
Wow.
Fucking moron.
right, let's write it down.
Atlanta,
Quick,
London.
let's write it on the board. Quick, I can't read that far.
Well, then
So I'm sorry.
Have an argument about it.
Don't have an argument.
I don't like that it's still on me.
I do.
We'll write it on the board next week and figure out who was right on this one. Well,
Do it now.
no.
Jason is our.
All right, so let's just speed run all these topics now because we're gonna apparently let's
Speed run. What?
Let's sleep. Just shut up. Stop saying video game terms just because I said it. Speaking of the podcast, good transition. I recently got internet, and it actually works. Is he in the bath? So that
Ignore
noise.
him. Yeah, ignore him.
It's the shower plus the music. It's
Anyway.
candles. I can smell it.
Okay. So I live in the boondocks, and I get about one. There's a picture screenshot right here. Go to the what? Screenshot. I get about 1 megabit per second upload and maybe 10 download normally. I got fiber this last week. Excellent. What is it? The worst Trump invasion ever.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going with that.
Right, best trade deal is what I'm trying to say. How long do you think it would take me to normally upload the podcast? So to Patreon, it's an hour and 20 minutes usually long 4K video. And to the YouTube, it's an hour long 1080 video. I almost threw up.
Ew.
Sorry. How long?
Those numbers were
normally,
atrocious. His body rejected it immediately.
At 1 megabit upload, do you think it takes me to upload the 1080 podcast? Let's just say
3 hours.
it takes about 8 hours to
8
upload
hours.
Fuck.
because it goes in and out too. It goes less than a megabyte sometimes. So it takes about 8 hours to upload. It's like 5 gigabytes. It's between 4 and 5.5, depends on how long the episode is.
And now?
2 minutes.
Fuck off.
2 minutes.
way.
I have screenshots to prove it. I don't have screenshots to prove how long it used to take.
Hours to 2 minutes.
I don't know how. I don't have
Does it
screenshots.
make editing go faster for you too?
No, editing is totally hard drive, so there's no.
Yeah, there's no speed
It's
increase on
not-
that
I
one.
didn't know if it was.
No, it's
No.
just hard. Editing is. If I was doing cloud editing, yes, but I don't. So now I might be able to do cloud editing, which means I won't have to drag the fucking hard drives here all the time. I can just fucking cloud edit between
I
us.
don't know if you want to do that.
No,
Take
with
a chance on that, but
there's no chance because I'm literally getting 800 megabits download and like 900 up. No, 800 upload, 900 download. It is literally 800 times faster at one aspect. I have the screenshots to prove it.
I don't think anyone's doubting you.
People doubt me.
Your viewer is not doubting you.
He did
Well,
before.
here's the thing. I like fiber is an amazing
2
concept that actually became
minutes.
True. It is an amazing thing to have. I think the only issue is how much is it per month?
I'm no idea.
Not much. Right? Oh. Okay. Well.
My roommates pay it.
Uh-huh. How thoughtful of them.
Yes.
Yeah, no, because even my cousin has fiber, and immediately he noticed the change himself, and he bought so much like equipment behind it. Like it used to be simple, like I think he only had like maybe a switch, that was it. But he's gotten a laptop, he's gotten a computer, he's gotten like Bluetooth, anything that was like kind of Wi-Fi bound or needed. He bought it because of the fiber itself. Was able to like just handle all of it and not have any hiccups for him.
Yeah. So
And
the Go
yeah,
on.
and so like it is amazing to see those numbers because I did see the numbers. He showed me that yesterday, and honestly, to kind of like figure like to see that go from what was it like 2 megabytes that
One.
you literally had, yeah, one for download. To
1.4.
see it literally be like what
Upload.
almost 400, 800 for uploading.
I just said the
and
numbers.
download.
So on
Is-
Wi-Fi, it's 4 to 500, 4 and 500, 500. Well, I can't remember which. And then Ethernet, which is what I use on for the podcast bit, is 900, 800.
That's good. Ethernet, always way to go. Oh, also update your Ethernet cables if you're fucking using a one from like 1990. Shit work.
So the reason that the price doesn't really matter at this point because I'm pretty. It's got to be illegal. It's not. It's got to be illegal what AT&T is doing. We're definitely paying for 100 megabits per second. That's like the minimum.
AT&T. That is the longest shower on the planet.
No, I take 4-hour showers sometimes.
What's wrong with- What?
Fucking feels good.
Okay. Oh gosh, you're destroying the fucking ecosystem with that.
Not how it works.
At least the water bill is fucking egregiously high at this point.
Correct.
She's just drowning in it.
All right, we're gonna move on past that. No, so the AT&T has to be doing something illegal. Like you can't charge 100 megabits per second when we get one in 10. But that's what it's years. So at this point, the price really is irrelevant because you're getting 800 times the speed in one
Maybe
aspect.
they were fucking you over. I mean,
100%. AT&T is the worst company in the world almost. It's like right up there with Amazon. Sucks.
Yeah.
And the customer service, worst ever. I used to be a cable guy, so I'm mad about it.
Why does
Yeah.
Amazon suck?
Oh, I had a whole episode about it. My very first episode of the show was partially, but it goes even deeper than my show.
Okay.
The basic is it's not basic, but the one specific is that you know what drop shipping is?
Mhm.
So drop shipping has gotten really popular these last three ever since COVID, really. Well, kind of when it slowed down. After it spit back up after COVID. Anyway, so what Amazon has done recently is they figured out that people are selling drop shipping on Amazon, and so where does this go? Oh yeah, so allowing drop shipping on Amazon has fucked over any of the smaller, but just the single sellers that do Amazon or like the businesses that do American business that do Amazon. But also, not only do they allow the drop shipping services, they also have you ever seen those Amazon Select products like Amazon batteries, Amazon that? They specifically raise those in the ratings when you search something. Pretty obvious. But what they mostly do is they look for everyone who like the people they allow to sell on their website. They specifically undercut those people. So they make you pay to be on the website. make you pay to sell the. So there's two different payments. First, you have to pay to be on the website. Then you have to pay a percent to sell each object. You give a percent back. So you get charged twice to sell on Amazon, and then taxes and all that. And then Amazon undercuts you selling your product in a generic version. That's one example of how they're terrible. Yet we use them every week. So what am I talking about?
Yep.
Jason,
The monopoly effect.
I'm sure, very surprised they haven't been shown as a monopoly yet, but it's probably not going to happen because it's the internet. Oh, he's leaving. We'll pause then because my thing was about Jason. I feel like the thumbnail for this week is just going to be us pointing at this whiteboard. Get that stretched energy in, Jason. Energy. Jason!
You fucking fucks. We were talking about sleep for 30 minutes
Woo!
and going over and over for a number that made no sense.
I know it made no sense.
All right.
I have a problem with Jason.
He always has a problem with me. It's because I'm brown. He
I
gets
can't even-
mad.
I almost said.
His white genetics kicked in that moment. They heard the B letter and then they were like, "What? We're here."
We're here. Jason. So first, let me ask a question before I have a problem, and then maybe we'll have a problem because I think I know the answer.
Okay, what is it?
So we always, at the end of there's always credits at the end, and I tell them what your Twitch is, right? And you often talk to your Twitch people on this podcast. Do you ever promote the podcast on your Twitch?
Yes. Though I will be honest, it's usually for those who just kind of ask. I don't really bring it out anything
So
else.
you don't.
But also on the second note is like lately I've been getting like people who are trying to advertise their graphic, which is great. Like obviously it shows that I'm heading in the right direction, but at the same time you get bots and then you also get
As you say, it's not a scam.
yeah,
comment?
exactly. Well, yeah, it's always like half of it is scams, the other half is just like straight up
'Cause I've
people
gotten
who are
those and I got it.
trying
Someone's here.
Yeah, it's
and
probably
so,
hams.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
He's
Beeps.
still in the shower. He's gonna be another hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
thought that was
so-
Orlando in the shower.
Yeah.
Doesn't Orlando have a shower in his bathroom?
No.
No, there's only one shower.
Why does?
It's a half bath. What are you saying?
I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
That was my problem. I was
Uh,
gonna say Jason plugging the podcast on a stream because I assumed you hadn't because no one watches this.
No, I
So-
stream it. Yeah, but I only have like 2 views. So
Oh, I thought you said you got like 50 at one point.
no, it's my past broadcast. I guess more views than my actual fucking live.
Oh, you mean the things I told you to do, the VODs? You
no, as in the time stretch that comes in.
can't-
Like the 7 days that come in, I see like 50 to 100 people coming in.
He's not getting out of his car. You might want to tell Ham if Ham's not in the shower that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
One sec.
I'm not, he's an adult. Let him figure it out. That's fine. He'll figure it out. What?
Okay.
He knows when his car. He has the phone.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Don't be a good friend about it. Okay.
Fair enough.
I don't know how he has his phone.
No one's. Move
Do you
on.
not get an alarm?
Move
Well, no,
on.
Jason not moved on. Did you not get an alarm when you get the Ubers here? He knows. He just turned the shower off.
Wait, no. I rarely get it.
I thought it was.
Well, you have a
Orlando
car
in the
now, but-
shower.
Hubba?
You said it was Orlando in the shower.
I said I thought. But now I hear Orlando's music downstairs, so it probably
Yeah,
is.
he's playing with woo woo music and woo.
What was that? What was that?
His woo woo music.
Do it again?
Yeah, he's going the woo.
Woo.
We're doing this fucking random ass.
I just wanted you to look like a bird.
I adore my brother, but sometimes he plays music that comes out of nowhere, and it makes me laugh a lot. Because I mean, obviously with music, you're supposed to find out the rhythm that goes with whatever you're trying to create. But again, it's just funny to listen to it, especially like on his Instagrams. You can see him like making music, and some of it is just like this weird ass
What the fuck?
energy. Like yesterday, he literally like did a story, and he's like, I don't know what this sounds like, but to me, it just sounds like like naked wolves in a cave howling.
Well, to be fair, it's not music to be
And I'm like,
played on Spotify. It's like scoring music.
okay, fine, scoring music then. But it's just a weird concept to kind of actually be like on the ground floor for it now, and just like witnessing someone go from like making beep boop sounds to like actually trying to create an orchestral song, or just trying to create I guess I guess sounds that would complement the movie scene or whatever is going on.
Nothing. I only have one more note. I guess. Well, it's kind of early to stop the podcast, I guess, because we have something to cut. Oh, we'll talk about something else. Lincoln Park.
Oh,
What's up?
I have an idea of something we never followed up on.
Oh yeah, we gotta call someone into the podcast.
Yes.
All right, we'll do that after this.
Ooh.
All right, Lincoln
Cool
Park. Back in the news.
Great.
They've
What
released-
happened now?
Why you on him?
What happened? She
You
sang
hate-
too hard?
Yes, she did.
Oh.
No. So people still hate. Probably because it's a woman. That makes sense. But there's
It's
what?
not
So
that hard, duh. Just fucking. Just kidding.
so there's a. Are you okay?
He's laughing about it.
So there's a concept in internet where people will. I'm sure you've seen it online on TikTok or whatever. People will be like complaining about the comments, but those comments won't exist. Like everyone will be saying, "Oh, can you go to the wide? Because Jason's doing something." People will be. There he goes. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, because you keep using your hand like that.
You can't even see that on the
Ow.
wide. Did you hit the wall?
No, yeah.
The hand just goes off frame. Bang. People will say, I don't know what everyone's talking about in the comments, but I think this is actually good. And then you scroll through the comments and no one has ever said that it was bad. Like it's always people just assuming that something wrong was said. So they say this thing to correct the wrongness that doesn't exist. That happens all the time. At least I see it all the time. I don't know if this is a universal experience.
Oh, that's just internet lingo. That means he started a conversation at a different place. He resumed the conversation. That's no
He-
different than being like,
he just
oh,
keeps
this movie
touching the mic.
sucks. Oh, this movie, and then going and seeing the movie with your friends and be like, oh, the movie wasn't that bad. Different location, different place, same subject that goes around.
Yes.
I wish I
Came with
screenshotted
burn.
it because I guess either the guy deleted his comment or what. So the common complaint right now is that it's not Lincoln Park. It doesn't sound Lincoln Park. Blah blah blah. Because everyone thinks that Chester was Lincoln Park. Unfortunately, not true. Mike is Lincoln Park. We've been over this. So one of the new songs. Have you heard the one, Two Face? It sounds a lot like One Step Closer.
Okay.
You remember that one by name?
Oh, yeah, I know that one. In the end, it doesn't.
That was the wrong song. That was the. It wasn't even close.
He said the name of the
It's not
song.
even on the album. It's not even.
He said the name of the. Oh yeah, I said the name of the song. One Step Closer, and he said, "Oh yeah, in the end, it don't even matter." That was so funny. Thank you, Jason.
Wrong song. Wrong album.
I'm glad you're awake now, Jason. This is what I've been missing. This is the Jason that I need. Anyway,
Yeah, don't talk about sleep for 30 fucking minutes then. As
So
I
this
lay on
guy-
the floor.
this guy was commenting. Switch. This guy was switch. This guy was switch. So switch.
This guy was switching.
This
this
guy
guy
was
was switching out,
commenting.
bro. He was switching everything, man.
That means something else to Jason. This guy was talking about.
I got what you said. Yeah, you got it.
Sorry.
That's so stupid. Switching. We're switching now. Hold on. Ow, fuck you all.
Do you remember me telling you to pull the chair forward? That
I
was
did
why.
pull the chair forward, but
I
leaned
pushed it back.
Now.
Anyway, God
I
damn.
lean back.
So this guy. Now that we're back from the Patreon. I don't even remember where I was, so I'm gonna restart. thread is deleted.
It was in a place. It was
We're
a
done. Hold on,
thing.
Jason. Let me get through this for God's sake.
Hit an action.
The thread was deleted, but in the comments, he said he responded to a comment saying that Two-Faced is just a carbon copy of One Step Closer, and the guy responded to that comment saying, "What are you talking about?" Because at the beginning he said it sounds nothing like Linkin Park, and in his own comment he said that sounds just like One Step Closer. It's too close. And so this guy was trying to have his cake and eat it too. He was saying it doesn't sound anything like it, and it sounds exactly like it, so it's bad. It doesn't sound anything like it, so it's bad. It sounds exactly like it, so it's bad. And I just wanted to point out that irony of like people. Oh, what was the point of this fucking story? I started out with saying negative stuff all the time in the comments.
It's because they hit the one thing.
You know, whatever. I'll just bring a
One
whiteboard next
meant
week
to
and
be
figure it out
love
next
it,
week.
because they
Jason,
did
your
one
story?
thing. You know, here I'll make it easy for you. We'll talk about Monster Hunter for this one.
Okay. Let me go get Lando for this bit.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you wanna
baby.
cut this
Praise the
in 15
Lord.
minutes?
All right,
We
start
can
July
shorten
4th.
this for 15 minutes.
Is he coming?
Yeah, I walked downstairs. She said, "Hey, can you come here for a second? We need you for the podcast." And he was like, "If it's not behind the camera, I won't do it." And he's like, "No, it's behind the camera." He's like, "Oh, I mean, if it's not in front of the camera, I won't do it. Or if it's in front of the camera, I won't do it." I like, "No, it's behind the camera," because he misspoke. And he goes, "No!" Just like Homer Simpson. So I spent the next 2 minutes laughing on the floor.
Oh, that's adorable. He used to be huge since
It was the funniest thing.
Is it like the
Six.
count? One. Ha ha ha.
Six
You did it wrong.
bitches.
You said one and you laughed 3 times.
That's what he does.
No, he goes 1 ha, 2 ha
No, he
ha.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does. That's why he goes ha.
Doesn't count, yeah.
3 ha ha ha.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He
I'll put in a
doesn't.
clip right here.
Sesame
Does he
Street
do-
did you
does
watch?
he do-
Three fabulous flyers. What?
60. Ha ha.
You just pop on the couch for a second.
I saw the
So
best
we
Sesame
about
Streets.
a month ago actually, we had a gamble
So
bet.
kind of the hose.
and
Won the hoe.
We like a $2 bet,
Two,
and then we put it on the counter to see, whoever wins get the bet, whatever. We left the money on the counter. Did you move the money?
Oh my
It was like $2 bills sitting on the.
Okay, there's only 4 suspects, and we're all in the room.
All right, we brought you here because we thought you moved it. You didn't move it at all,
Did you take it?
No.
Jason.
$2 is beneath me. No, we didn't touch it.
I knew you were gonna say that. $2 beneath me.
Jason,
If
can
it
I
was
have $2?
100, then maybe.
No, no,
Oh, speaking of which, I need to go to the bank and actually I can't go to the bank.
Did you move the
Closed.
money, Jason?
No.
Huh.
Okay.
I'm making up new rules. It was just a misunderstanding of the first rules.
Oh,
All right,
Rules isn't the only thing you make up.
wide. Bye.
He's talking about his penis size. All right, everybody, y'all take it
I've only ever said
easy.
it's small, Jason. Don't lie to me. I've only ever told the truth.
Truth, that's a lie.
It's tiny. Do you see the end of your microphone?
Yeah.
Looks like that.
Yeah.
Look, Patreon numbers going by. Look, the names are scrolling by. Fake names again because no one pays for it at this point in time. Come on.
No, thank you though.
Don't you want to join this group of people? The numbers going by, the names going by.
This was egregious.